And welcome back to That Sales Show with Coach Donna V. And the goal of our show really is to bring to you industry experts in sales and sales reps that are really doing some cutting edge things with technologies and with sales strategy and sales process. And today I have with me a gentleman named Graham Power. And I met Graham at the Enterprise Sales Forum, and Graham, first of all, I love his name, and it epitomizes who he is. But I used to be a recruiter, and one of the things that I really found powerful about Graham was he really has a handle on his business. He really understands technology. He's very easy to talk to, and he has very creative sales strategies, and he's an excellent communicator, and I thought, you know what, he would be fun to have on the show. So welcome, everybody. Graham Power, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me, Donna.
Thank you, thank you. So our topic today, and it was picked by Graham actually, is going to be on collaboration and the revenue teams, which is apparently a new trend. So I'm going to let Graham introduce to him and his background, his company. I'm stuttering because it's very hot in here and I'm having a huge stroke. But why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and about your company, Guru.
Yeah, thank you so much for that introduction, Donna. So again, my name's Graham Power. I'm a sales executive here in Philadelphia, and I've been working the past 6 months with a company called Guru Technologies. And the draw for me is actually what Guru does. This was a company that as soon as I found out about, I really kind of fell in love with because I could relate to the problem they were solving so much. And just a little bit about that problem, you know, at every company, there's a couple things, of course. There's going to be people who are just massive, you know, like just subject matter experts and really kind of the go-tos for solving problems. The problem is that a lot of that knowledge, that tribal knowledge, lives in people's heads. It lives in dated, you know, email threads that, you know, are just one directional, two directional. It lives in chat apps. There's no way to capture it and make it reusable, and it's especially needed by customer-facing teams. So whether those are sales, support, or customer success, they tend to be the most reliant, and the pain points really felt the most when they don't have instant access to the knowledge that they need to do their jobs, to serve the customer, to be consultative, be accurate. Another problem that Guru addresses is the fact that a lot of corporate wikis and intranets, kind of the legacy technology that we're replacing, there's no way to ensure the knowledge has integrity, that it stays current, that you as a sales rep can trust it, right, when you're relaying it to the customers. So that's just a little bit about what we're doing.
So your product is a sales enablement tool, basically.
Yes, although we're kind of shedding the sales enablement term. It's been overplayed, and if you look up the definition of enablement, Donna, it's not the strongest word, so we like empowerment.
Oh, nice.
Enabling means just simply getting somebody to be able to do something.
Yeah.
Doesn't say that, you know, and when's the last time you said to yourself, wow, I feel enabled right now? You would never say that. You'd say, I feel empowered.
Right. So the information that you're helping organizations assemble helps them share information across teams, marketing, sales, customers.
Marketing, sales, we tend to think of ourselves as an internal-facing tool mostly, although there's different components of the product where I would share with a customer. You know, whether it's a common use case, especially for sales and marketing teams, is storing marketing assets. You know, things like white papers, case studies, link to blog posts. Right. So those can obviously be shared externally, but it's really all about the things that, you know, again, we share and collaborate on as a company.
Awesome. So, so this is an enterprise sale. You're touching multiple people in a sales process, correct?
Yep. We, you know, we sell from SMB to enterprise. It's interesting. I'm sure we'll kind of get into this, but yes, at its highest level, it's very consultative, and we're talking about something that you know, requires a certain amount of well, the customer almost has to have a philosophy around what they believe in knowledge, and we, as sales reps, have to educate them. I mean, that's nothing new, you know, it's always been the name of the game, but but really a different way of thinking about it from kind of a legacy way of thinking about knowledge, certainly.
So in your sales process, who are you typically talking to? You're talking to a vice president level, are you talking senior level, or are you in like with the user group?
You know, it can vary, but what you're hearing in the marketplace about, hey, the average B2B buying decision is split between, 2 years ago it was 5 people. This year it's 7 people. Who knows where it's going?
Yeah.
I think that's absolutely true.
Yeah.
It tends to be our foot in the door is often at the director level. I think can be the VP. Sometimes it's a referral down from the C-suite. C-suite doesn't have time to evaluate new technologies unless the C-suite's 5 people of the whole company, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so I think when we come back, because we're going to go on break, I want to talk a little bit about how you go about selling the different value propositions to the different stakeholders, and some of the things that you had to do to be creative to get yourself in the door and really show that you could educate and provide value that got people to listen.
Sure.
Okay, great. So thank you so much. Stay tuned. We'll be back, and you'll be seeing a commercial break, and you're actually going to be seeing some of Guru's value propositions. Stay tuned.
Hey support, my phone hasn't worked since installing your update, and your chatbot couldn't help.
Your chatbot couldn't help? Alright. Known update bugs. Cool. Hey, just need to check in with my manager quick. Looking for documentation on update bugs.
Look into something like software update concerns, Mike's third edits, March 2018.
Can you stop by and help me out quick?
And I really don't have time to come all the way over there. You can always ask Rachel. She wrote the book on this.
When someone's got a problem, they want quick and accurate answers from humans, not some chatbot. With Guru, every member of your organization can access trusted, up-to-date knowledge right where they work. We believe AI exists to make you better at your job, not replace you. Letting you get back to why you're here in the first place, to deliver customer experiences that people will talk about in a good way.
Welcome back, everyone, to That Sales Show, and I'm Coach Donna V, and we have with us Graham Power. So where we left off last was I was asking you a little bit about who you sell to, who was in the buying process, and I want to get an example of how you add value and create value, because it's very competitive. Everybody's calling on people to try to sell them a product. So tell me a little bit about your strategy and how you get people to listen.
Yeah, sure. Well. In many ways, we're not doing things completely different from how we did them 20 years ago. We're just, kind of optimizing the process. So what I mean by that is you think about trigger events for accounts, right? There's easier ways than ever to keep in touch with what's going on with your accounts and your contacts, be it different technology products, which will go out and source all that information for you using big data and AI. I'm a big fan of that type of technology. Yeah. And it shows, the second the press release from one of the accounts, I'll give you an example. One of my accounts just went through a big rebrand that they're very excited about. I actually had some insider knowledge that was taking place, but as soon as I knew it was live, thank you notes out the door, or rather not thank you, but congratulations notes and things like that. So anytime there's an acquisition is another good example. Just really showing that you're in touch and you care. Yeah. Just being all over that. Lots of good ways to engage at the account level as well as the contact level. Personalization is a huge trend. I think it always has been, but in the day of automation, I think we're realizing that hey, we have to humanize things, especially if we're in a consultative B2B technology sale. Yeah.
So this idea of collaboration and revenue teams. Do you folks at Guru practice this philosophy, this current trend?
Yeah, so what it means, let me unpack that a little bit for you. So think of a revenue team as taking otherwise siloed teams. You know, you have your customer service, your sales team. Sometimes customer service means support plus customer success. And typically, they've kind of almost existed in a vacuum, right? Like there's a little bit of communication here and there, but you're not sitting in on the same meetings, you don't have the same goals. You're generally not always aligned, and worse, sometimes you're not always aligned around what the customer needs, right? So what if we break down these silos by introducing new ways to talk to one another, both digitally and in retrospective meetings, things like that, cross-departmental initiatives and incentives and things like that to make sure that the baton pass is just seamless from sales to success, and then back the other way around, right? Because it's not just about bringing new business in the door. It's the cost of acquiring a customer is higher than ever. So we really need to look at, how can we just delight our customers that we have and get them to keep purchasing. And people, when they're surveyed, they say 60% of the populace would pay more to have a better service experience. So
wow.
The revenue team is all about saying, the lines are blurred, and we're seeing best-in-class companies really adopting that methodology and really kind of, you're not just seeing, for instance, from a role and title perspective, you're not just seeing like a sales enablement manager, director anymore. You're seeing growth enablement. They're focused on all those teams, for example.
Yeah. So give me an example of what kind of technologies help streamline that process.
Yeah, certainly. Slack is a very, very popular. Some people think of it as a messaging app, but Slack really markets itself as all about collaboration, and you can set up different channels, right, that are kind of a cross-pollination of sales and customer success and marketing, and so we find that to be essential. In fact, we do all of our internal communication right out of Slack. There's very, very little email exchanged. Awesome. Other technology that I'm a big fan of that I think speaks to the revenue team, call recording software has been huge for us, much in the sense that, if a customer success manager, that works with me collaboratively on account wants to go find out what information was shared on a discovery call or late in the game just to get up to speed, they can do that, and it's instant access to information on the customer so that, again, by the time that that handoff occurs, the customer kind of comes into this and they're like, wow, they know me. This is awesome.
Yeah. And so what's the communication tool between the customer and you folks?
And us folks?
In the revenue teams, like what kind of keeps that communication like a triad? So
what you're seeing more and more is things trending towards live chat, not just, I talked about Slack being our internal chat tool. You're seeing different applications. I'll just a couple off the top of my head. Intercom and Drift are really kind of ways that we can communicate in a live setting with our customers, right? Obviously, GoToMeetings, or web conferencing tools, very much important to what I do and most technology companies, as far as like, we can't be everywhere, but it's getting easier and easier. Yeah.
Now, how about like service? Like, let's say, post-sale, you have customer service or support, and there's kind of like people coming in and they're asking questions, and is there the technologies that you use enable your support team to have visibility into who the rep was, what the problems have been, and that everybody can see, like you can get pinged as a rep that there's a customer support problem happening there?
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about a common theme, I think, for the modern business is if solutions don't integrate and talk to each other, especially those that are capturing valuable customer data, like be it cases or tickets, opportunities. I mean, that's actually a big one, I would say. In terms of breaking down that silo, I have access, for instance, to, we predominantly use a chat app for customer support, right? We don't use a ticketing tool.
Really?
I have full access to that chat log, so I can see, everything that's been discussed, any product issues, any enhancement requests, and even, it's pretty common for our customers to start with the support rep that they know and trust and that's been helpful, and then ask them about a new technology, which might lead to an upsell.
Right, right. So tell me, I get curious about the sales process again.
Sure.
So let's
It's not all
talk about-
technology. It's
no. So yeah.
Technology is nothing without the right process.
Yeah. So how do you access the data that you have around people's buying behaviors? Like, what are you using, to understand like the trends in the market, or if you want to see something about the buying personas, and then how do you use it in a meaningful way with your clients?
Oof. That's a great question. So, needless to say, lots of different ways to capture data out there, and customers are more and more turning to third-party review sites such as G2 Crowd. I want to talk about our use case. I know we're coming up on time, but yeah, the next theme would be buyer intent data. There's a lot of it out there to capture, and it can definitely inform the sales process.
Awesome. Let's talk a little bit about that when we come back. Going on another commercial break. Is Guru going to be up there? Maybe. I don't know. I hope you enjoy it, but we'll see you in a few minutes.
Guru is a sales enablement solution that exists as a web app, a browser extension, and a Slack bot, ensuring the sales knowledge and assets your reps need to close deals find them everywhere they're working. By servicing dynamic playbooks based on specific sales scenarios, Guru promotes a consultative approach across the entire sales motion, increasing sales velocity by reducing the time spent responding to a prospect's questions or objections. Thanks for checking us out. Get started with a free 21-day trial today, or check out our in-depth product explanation below.
RVN TV is a platform for people of any industry to share their story. Over 285,000 viewers are tuning in to RVN TV shows monthly. We guarantee a great experience that you'll be sharing with everyone you know while increasing your personal and company's brand awareness. But what is your brand? According to Forbes, it's a combination of your logo, your product, your design and feel, and your personality. Did you know that aside from being a guest, we offer even more opportunity to boost your brand? Adding your company logo and website on screen during your interview will allow viewers to recognize your brand instantly. Incorporating images and video clips is another great way to showcase your product during your live segment. Let viewers see how good you really are. And most importantly, there's you and your interview. For less than the cost of a newspaper, direct mail, or a magazine ad, you can leave our studio and within 48 hours have a permanent digital copy of your live segment to link to your social media, embed into your company website, or use in email marketing. Investing in your brand is so very important, and we can't wait to have you as a guest.
Welcome back, everyone, to That Sales Show with Coach Donna V and my guest, Graham Power. So where do we leave off? Buyer intent in the sales process. What kind of technologies you're using to understand your ideal customer profile?
Yeah. So I'll give you two examples of some things that are really helping us to be much more educated about which opportunities, which prospects to really kind of prioritize. So G2 Crowd is a third-party review site for enterprise software. G2 Crowd is also a technology company themselves, and one of their services that we purchase is data on which accounts are actually checking out our website, are checking out our reviews on G2 Crowd.
Oh, nice.
We can even see if they're comparing us using kind of a comparison tool that G2 Crowd offers between us and our competitors, and that actually tells us who we're going up against in a sales cycle. So it's really, really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as a subscription model?
It is a subscription model. It's built into our CRM, Salesforce.com. I can also customize, like a personalized review landing page. Again, because really buyers, more than ever, they turn to their peers to make these decisions. So we kind of want to capitalize on that trend, right? Mm-hmm. and not say, hey, we're the best at X, Y, and Z, and you just have to take our word for it, right? Mm-hmm. Like it's what's more powerful than your customers actually saying that, your users.
Yeah. So give me an example of something you had to do creative to get somebody's attention, and they, ended up becoming a customer.
Yeah, I'll give you an example of something recent that happened, and I don't know that every rep is always going to have this luxury, but sometimes your prospects are looking for maybe your desired customer's technology. So to really kind of unpack that, I recently got on a discovery call with a really cool company. They were in the market for a very different type of technology. There was some overlap, but ultimately, I told them, hey, I think this is really what you're looking for, and I think we should set up a conversation for a little bit down the line. After I got off that call, I realized, holy cow, the technology this prospect was looking for happens to be something that one of my tiered accounts, one of my prioritized prospects, manufactures. So I found a director of sales development on LinkedIn. I sent him a very personalized note and said, hey, I've got a great lead for you. Love to send it your way and have a conversation. He was more than willing to take the time, and while that has not come to fruition, that's very much a qualified opportunity that's in my sales funnel.
Oh, that's great.
Started out with a referral, and I think that's a priceless way to add value.
Yeah, I mean, I think sales reps have to think a little bit outside of the box on how they can get reference selling going, and that's a part of networking and a part of an activity that sales reps don't think they have the luxury to do, right? There's prospecting, and how can we expand our range with how we're thinking about who is actually a customer or could be a potential customer.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I think our customers are everywhere, right?
Yep.
So it's all about forming relationships.
Yeah. Know their business so you can help them and they help you.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome. So we probably only have about 5 more minutes, right? We need an hour show, Tyler. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about Guru's value proposition and how you're helping, maybe an example of how you've helped a client with a business issue, and then how somebody can get a hold of you to maybe get a demo and stuff.
Yeah, so to offer a little bit more perspective, last thing I want to do is actually talk too much about the product itself. It's really kind of understanding the business challenges, and some of them that are top of mind are things like most businesses and certainly knowledge workers are experiencing a phenomenon that we call channel proliferation. Kind of a big word there, but what it means is, hey, we're being asked to have our attention in a variety of different places and apps, and it's all web-based, but it means 20 tabs open, 30 tabs open. So that's a key problem we're solving by putting the knowledge base everywhere that a sales or support or service rep is working. Any app, Salesforce.com, Zendesk, Intercom, any technology product, but also Slack. Slack is a wonderful collaboration tool, as we talked about. There's a lot of great knowledge shared in those direct messages and channels. We have a bot that will collect that, and turn it into knowledge that can be used and shared again and indexed and searched. Another key business problem, I think I mentioned knowledge inaccuracy, but the way that we address that is every piece of knowledge, every card in Guru is tied to a subject matter expert or like a group of experts. Maybe it's product marketing, for example. And that person or that group periodically set a verification interval so that in 3 months, 6 months, I'm going to be reminded to go back and verify that content as still accurate, still pertinent, and that's important when you have a quickly changing product or process. Reps need to be able to trust the knowledge that's in Guru. And then finally, analytics. What kind of a software solution would you look at today if you didn't get any kind of key business insight, especially when it comes to looking at, again, people are interfacing with the customers. What are they searching the knowledge base for? What are they finding? What are they not finding? It's a great way to kind of begin to shape your content strategy. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Cool.
So if somebody had to send you an email and say, oh man, I love you guys because, why do your clients love working with Guru?
Yeah. So if you're in a position where you're the person that's constantly being shoulder tapped for information, then we're putting a lot of time back in your day to focus on more strategic initiatives and activities. People love the fact that we're right in their workflow. Again, we're not asking them to open up another tab and go to another portal. things like that. And you know, probably the one that makes me most proud, they love working with our company. They love the people, you know, and I think that's what always makes the difference.
Yeah, I've been in your offices, and everybody is like, they're on it, they're smart, they're engaging, and they love what they do. So we're ready to wrap up. So do you want to tell us how we can get a hold of you to get more information about Guru?
I'm a serial social networker, so you can find me on LinkedIn, search Graham Power, or on Twitter at gpowah, G-O-W-A-H. And then the website is getguru.com. That's a great way to find out more about us and kind of what we're doing with this, you know, this recreation, this revenue team, revenue empowerment network.
Awesome. That's so great. This was a great segment. I really appreciate your coming. Thank you so much. Did a great job.
Thank you.
Everybody, next week, I think we're doing something on marketing and sales alignment. So next week at Wednesday at 11 o'clock here on RVN TV. Thanks for joining in.